Well, let's do this freaking thing, Nate.
Oh yeah.
So guys, welcome to the show. It's gonna be a little bit of a different series for us. We don't do a lot of edged weapon stuff on the show, so it's kind of fun in those chances that we get to do it. So I'll intro Nate in just a sec. For those of you looking for ways to support the channel, you can do it different ways. We've got fancy merch on the website, just 1911syndicate.com. You can check all that kind of stuff out. On our Instagram, we've got links to a bunch of different places you can get discounts on cool gear, all that kind of stuff. If you need real estate help, for those of you that don't know, we're actually real estate agents. That's what we do. As boring as that is compared to shooting machine guns, it does keep the lights on to a degree. So we've got that, Patreon, all that good jazz. So for those of you that don't know Nate, well, to bring it back to real estate momentarily, so that's kind of how we linked up. Was I met Nate via another bladesmith locally, Jared Williams, who gave us some cool props that we got to use in an apocalypse video this week, which was kind of fun. But he was like, oh, you guys should talk to Nate. So we talked to Nate, and so Nate makes all of the knives for our 1911 Syndicate clients. So, hey, when you're a client, you close on your house, we have a knife made for you. We do these EDC knives, or we have the kukris that we're doing now, which are really cool. But one of the things that we did, maybe, probably 2 years ago now, damn it, that's probably about the last time you were on the channel, was upwards of a couple years ago.
That's been 2 years, and it was a year prior to that or more that we did the first knife, isn't
it?
Yeah,
it's been a minute. So, but we came up with this Tomahawk, and we'll kind of walk you through some of the differences. But maybe I don't know, a month or two ago, we were like, we should do some sort of collab knife, and we were gonna do a knife, and then we were like, I'm really kind of drawn to hawks right now, and we're all kind of like, a hawk would be cool.
Who says it has to be a knife? Why not a tomahawk?
Yeah, and it's like our, audience is, I mean, hell, they're into camping and bushcraft and all that, but it's like, we're a weapons channel. Yeah. So it's like, well, let's get you a weapon.
Yeah. If you like steak, you probably like bacon too, and it's the steak channel, but here's some bacon.
Yeah.
When we first met, when we first talked, it was just a basic interview. You were just like, what is forged in fire? What is knife making? What is freehand grinding? Mm-hmm. All those just very, very simple things. Like, what the hell is all this? You know? And we made this little utility knife, and I remember we really enjoyed it. And you had presented, I knew that what I appreciated is that you were looking for some ways, like, how can I just keep it going? Mm-hmm. Like what can we do that would make it worth everybody's time and keep the creativity with it going, just so you can learn more about bladesmithing and I can keep having a regular business. So that's when that's when Jake approached me to do, he's like, I want to have some kind of gifts for my clients on a regular basis. You really, really like the custom angle to it. That every single one is being tailored to the person like a suit. Yeah. Instead of it being like, well, we picked you something up from a department store and then and that was it. And then not only that, but it was like, well, this is as a maker, there's a ton of freedom to be creative. We don't want to do anything off of a template. There's lots of templates that other people have established and said, like, this knife has, 1,000-year history. This is exactly the details it's supposed to be. It's like, sure. Well, we like the tip, or we like this part of it, and I'm going to use it on a totally new design. Mm-hmm. Both you, I know both you and I really groove out on that kind of creativity, and so we came up with the first thing that we came up with was pretty sweet. Oh yeah. We had to build a couple of them to get it right.
I carry mine every day.
And then after that, it's like, well, let's just do this every year.
Yeah.
So with the Tomahawk, the fun part about the Tomahawk, if anybody who saw the videos, we got a chance to go out to a junkyard and test it by opening up a car. Yeah. It was great.
And it was legit, hacked through the roof of a truck, because that was kind of one of the tests. See, like, hey, could you breach your way into a vehicle?
Can you cut your way into a car?
Yeah. And the answer is yes.
The answer is yes. Can I grab the prototype? I've got it over.
Damn, that's the original one.
This is the original. So this is the one that we built. Now feel the difference between the two. Yeah. That one was super light.
Super lightweight.
But the takeaway from it.
Yeah.
was the damage it was taking up on the handle. Because as it was cutting through all of the sheet metal, as soon as it got into anything up here is just going to take damage. So, in my opinion, this Tomahawk was something that we put through a test. We spotted a couple things that we really liked about it, and then spotted a couple of things like, well, look, let me change it. The first one that you brought up to me was being more compact.
Yes. So we really liked that. This is my personal hawk, and I love that thing. But when we started kicking around the idea for this project, we're like, look, let's make it a little bit more of a fighting hawk. And probably the first request within that would be to shorten that thing up a little bit for the sake of it being compact. That way, hey, look, if you wanted to throw it in a pack or strap it to the molly of your plate carrier or whatever it may be, or even belt line, it's just a little bit more compact. But with the ability to, one, obviously have the edged weapon component of it, but two, with really placing an emphasis on it being a breaching tool as well.
So in this case with the Tomahawks, you're like, can we have it a breaching tool? Can we also have it as comfortable enough to use as a fighting hawk?
Yeah.
And compact, you're going to trade range a little bit, but we're going to talk with someone later today who knows what to do anyway.
Yeah, and this will be like a multi-part series, so there'll want to be in 4 of these, and the next one after this video will be really getting into some combatives with someone who understands edge weapons combatives very well.
Yeah. We'll ask him to share his.
And if we haven't said this yet, part of what happened was we did these, and you know, there's a lot of things that we do and show you sometimes where it's like, well, you can't actually buy that, and that drives people nuts. So it's like, I mean, you only ever made like maybe 10 of these or something. Like
I made a total. I think I made a total of 16. I did a run of 10, and then did another run of 6 later.
Yeah. So on these, on the version 2.0, we're actually doing a batch of these. So like these will actually be available. I think we're gonna have 20 of them. And they'll wind up being on your site. Probably by the time this airs, they should be on there.
Yes.
So you guys can, you know, still watch the video, but you can go check that out too. But yeah, let's talk about some of the kind of what we did with this one.
So side-by-side comparison from the first 3. Here's the original. Here's the modified version after that. And this is the latest. So the difference was by comparing and contrasting a lot of the other tactical hawks that are out there right now, the average handle length was between, what, like 12 and 13 inches?
Yeah, it's like overall length seems to be 13's kind of the universally agreed upon length for a tactical hawk, if you will.
The idea being that wherever you carry it, you don't want too much like hanging out.
Yep.
If I'm carrying it on the side and this is hanging out this way and I'm turning, I don't want to be banging into something. So, some of the details is we knew that if we went more compact with the length, I needed the blade itself needed to be a little bit heavier. Force equals mass times acceleration. So there's 2 ways to get more force out of something. You speed it up or you increase its weight.
Yep.
In this case, increase its weight, gave it a little bit more blade, made it a little bit both in length and in width. I also made all of this more comfortable around here. The idea of a breaching tool is that this is something we could use for prying. And
almost in a crowbar type fashion.
This one had edges galore, which definitely helps with getting through things, but it's not friendly to grab.
No, and you can grab it without getting cut up for sure. It's more of wedges versus actual edges. Boy, wedges versus edges.
Wedges,
that's got to be on your T-shirt.
That's got to be the name of a video.
Yeah,
wedges, this is like you compare to wedges or edges.
So it's like, look, you're not going to get cut up by this. This was done intentionally as a wedge to get through windshield so that you could wedge your way through it. But when it really comes to gripping on the, you lack a little bit of dimensions to be able to grip on this to get it into something, which is what we wanted to clean up here.
This is the new part of it.
Yeah.
This one was the glass breaker, skull crusher. This one you're like, how about something we can pry?
Yeah, and the truth is, of course, you can break some glass with that pretty easily. Like, it's not that hard to break glass.
It turns out glass is pretty, relative compared to sheet metal, glass is pretty easy to break.
Like if you throw some metal through some glass, it's probably going to break.
Even with cutting through the windshield, this was nice, this helped. I'm convinced it could be done with this too.
Oh, for sure.
I wanted When I added this, the concern was how comfortable am I getting my hand on here and using it for leverage and putting all of my body weight suddenly on it and not tearing my hands up. The steel itself, 80 CRV2, a little bit different than the 8670 that I was using for this. It's got very good hardness. It's got very good toughness too. Well, those are the primary two that I'm most concerned with.
Yeah, because it is a popular steel.
Right, it's becoming one of the most popular steels. It's because it's so easy to work. It's easy to work with, and it's strong in both of those two ways.
Yeah.
For this needs to have a high amount of strength because it is an impact tool. It's dealing with a tremendous amount of shock, tremendous amount of force going through it, and it needs to be hard enough to hold an edge, but it also needs to be tough enough that it's not going to shatter.
Yeah. Handles. So we're using micarta on that.
I'm still using micarta. I love micarta because even if your hands get wet with anything, the grip actually improves. This stuff is very, very nice, like for kitchen knives, for anything that's in any kind of like wet environment. Really, really like it. It's UV resistant, so it's not, if you're gonna like leave it out in the sun, it's not gonna be destroyed.
Yeah.
It doesn't warp, it doesn't rot.
Yeah, and that's the thing with, we did wood on the original ones. And wood's great, the natural materials are great. A little bit more maintenance, of course.
A little bit of oil like here. Now, you brought this over the other day, and I saw that you just oiled it, and I thought, like, wow, it looks...
Yeah, like rejuvenates it. But yeah, we're pretty stoked about this. We're going to put the final edge and just taper a little bit on this, and then we'll start hitting some testing and all that good stuff.
So we got to test it. But yeah, let me put an edge on this. Let me sharpen this up a little bit, and then we'll set up for testing.
Cool.
I'm testing to see. This is a strength and function test. I'm making sure that the spike is spiky. If it's not, I've already tried it before when it wasn't sharpened and it wasn't penetrating the sheet metal. So now that it is sharpened up, let's just see how well it does. It has to be able to penetrate this without it bending all the way over.
Yeah, your first hit went clean through.
The first hit went clean through. It actually impacted the vise as well, and there's absolutely no damage on the tip.
Yeah, there's nothing.
So the idea that you're going to keep razor sharp while it's metal on metal for heavy swings, it's going to last a bit, and then
it's going to need some maintenance.
It's going to need some maintenance.
Yeah.
I tell people that edges are like your ammunition in your firearm. So you use them up and then you reload them into the firearm. If your firearm's damaged, then there's a problem. With a blade with an edge, if there's big chips missing from it, if it is rolled over so much that it might as well be a chip, big dishes and stuff, then you have a busted edge. You can't resharpen it very easily back to working condition.
Chunks of metal are gone.
This is 15 seconds worth of sharpening and you're back to where you were.
So how easy would it be to just show how quickly that edge is restored?
Now, this would take me about 10 seconds to touch this up on my 2x72 inch grinder. But I know that a lot of people don't have that at home, so I'm going to use a diamond abrasive stone instead. This is a fine grit. I got this from Harbor Freight for like 10 bucks. I use it all the time. It's great. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, so you're talking 30 seconds with a tool that you can get at a Home Depot. Yeah, like you can't feel that anymore. There's nothing there that's notchy or edgy.
Yeah, one of the things I think we should just mention real quick too is handle-wise, why we did a straight handle. Versus the curve, because it's like the curve on like the Winklers and things like that is popular.
The ergonomic handles, the The reason is pretty obvious. It should be pretty obvious. There is 2 ends to this Tomahawk. There is a blade in the front. There's a spike in the back. With ergonomic handles, I'll use this piece of antler as an example. They direct your hand. They direct motion well. So if this is my forward handle, this is the axe head. It's awesome
it's
for
great
that.
now. Yeah.
But to turn that around and to use it this way is
it's not good.
Specificity and versatility.
Yeah.
It specifies it when it's ergonomic like that. It has to go forward. That's the only way you're going to get leverage with it. This is a neutral handle. I want it to be easy to rotate for you to turn around and use either end.
Not to mention, I mean, that if that breech face was at the bottom of a curved handle, it's, effectively useless at that point. I mean, just ergonomic. I mean, you go, well, it doesn't work.
They don't pry well.
No.
You don't. You don't use
this thing's down here at this angle. It's like, so what do I do? How does that even work?
How does that translate?
Yeah, so that neutral handle was really because it doesn't have the same visual pizzazz that some of the curved handles have. Don't get me wrong, they look super cool. And there's nothing wrong with those. It's just, hey, from a multi-function tool, it's like, well, I need I just need that neutral grip, and just the idea that I can grip up on this and wedge this, we don't have that. I'd love to say that we had a door or something that we could plow through, but unless we decide to break into Nate's house, we just don't. But we did just go wedge this into the door earlier, just to go, okay, look, that goes into a door wedge, and at that point you've got enough material back here that, like, look, you can start pounding the back of this thing with a sledge if you had to really get that in, to start to wedge open whatever it is that you're going for, This is cool, man. I'm stoked about this.
Super.
Yeah, we're gonna pick it up on part 2 here with Mr. Jared Wahangi, who will be joining us in the next episode. But these should be on Nate's site by the time that this video is coming out to you guys, so you can go check these out if you like them. I'm pretty stoked on it.
Oh, I'm pretty stoked on it as well.
Yeah.
You should give that a try if you would like.
I'll chop the shit out.
Yeah, chop the shit here.
So are Ray-Bans ballistically protected?
No, that's not bad.
And again, how often in real world application are you chopping through metal? All this stuff is cool, and something that, you always highlight. It's like, look, you can find the failure point of anything.
Right.
You'll find it.
Good tests is something where we're trying to find the limit.
Yeah.
And what we learn from that is like, well, what can we do with that information? Is that if that's the limit, can I stretch it a bit further by altering the design like a little bit, or I think it'd be cool.
Here.
There's enough weight in there to do damage.
Yeah, it's the same stuff. It's like the blade is completely intact. There's just
it mars it a little bit.
Yeah, but like the edge is all there. There's no metal gone. There's just the ever so slight little rolling around the
in proper forge and fire. The next test would then be sharpness. Is like can
it cut through an apple?
Can it still cut?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have any ship rope or anything like that lying around.
That's all good. We got to roll in a sec anyway.
Damn. Action.
We'll have these on your site, which, we can link that below because you don't sell guns. Hey, a rare case of something we do that doesn't sell guns. I think, is it NateTheBladeMaker.com?
NateTheBladeMaker.com, yeah.
Cool. And then at the same time on Instagram, too. People can find you at the same handle. But, Nate does a lot of, like, chef's knives and all kinds of different stuff. Just showed me that one. That was a really, really cool piece that you just did. So,
that was...
check out Nate. I mean, we've been doing stuff together for like probably 3 years now, so this is kind of like a fun evolution that we always get to keep going. But these will be on there. Like, this is a good day of testing. We'll pick it up in part 2 with combatives with Jared Wahangi, and learn how to do combative things with a Tomahawk, which should be kind of cool.
This is a good design. I like it a bunch. I've got every bit of confidence in it, and I know that anybody who gets one will enjoy it and get good use.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Cool. All right, guys. We'll see you on part 2.